Did you know that most people are in relationships and marriage they do not want to be in? And these are the reasons why. Hey everyone, my name is Najito Peace. I welcome you back on my YouTube channel. Today I want us to discuss something very interesting. Do you know the reason why you are in that marriage or in that relationship? And do you know the reason why you are there, you're stuck, you're not happy, you're not having the best of your life? These are the reasons why you would reconsider someone else if given another opportunity. Number one, the fear of being alone. Let's face it, most of us fear being alone. You fear the responsibility of being on your own. Because there are people you would ask and they'd be like, I have never been there without anybody. Like literally, my whole life I have been there. I have lived it with someone always by my side. If this relationship fails, I go to another, but the fact is I don't give myself room to be alone. So if you're not in a relationship, you may be in a situationship or an entanglement, and before you know it, you end up into a marriage with this person and you are stuck there, and maybe you didn't love this person in the very first place, but just because you're afraid of being alone, you just picked anyone that came along and was willing to take you up. And this can happen for both women and men, as long as you haven't developed that self-love within you and you haven't really looked at yourself as if you have value, that you have value whether you are with someone or you are not. But the fact that you are afraid of being alone, you end up choosing anyone that is able to accept you and you go with them. Yes. Number two, the fear of starting over. You know, when you have been in a relationship for quite some time, not this one of 1 month or 2 months, the one where you have invested a lot of your time, like let's say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 5 years and above. And maybe you have invested a lot, your emotions, your heart, your everything, and you have given your whole to this person. When they start to do you bad, to do you shaggy, you end up staying around because you're afraid to start over again. You're afraid of getting someone new. You're afraid of asking someone's favorite car, someone's favorite food. Like you're afraid literally because you have invested maybe money, you have invested time, you guys even maybe you have even done something together. But the fact is you're afraid of starting all over again. You end up being stuck in this relationship even when you know this person is not good for you. Like this person no longer serves you, because we meet people for a certain reason. That's why God brings us in contact with certain people for his own purpose. So you may reach a point where this person no longer serves you, this person is no longer, his values or her values are no longer aligning with yours. The purpose which you're supposed to fulfill is no longer in alignment with yours. But because you're afraid of starting over again, you end up being in that relationship. You end up being stuck in that marriage, and you have no option but just to be there. But if you are given another opportunity, maybe you would have reconsidered. Third point, peer pressure. Have you ever been in a group of people or in a community of people or within just people within your age group, and everyone around you is in a relationship, is in a marriage, and you are there, you do not have anyone, and you may not even have hopes of dating anytime soon, or you're there and maybe you're not even sure what is going to happen tomorrow, and everyone around is getting married, everyone around is fronting their relationship on social media, and poor you are there, you look at yourself, you feel like you are a failure just because you are not in a relationship with anyone, or because maybe you are not yet married and everyone around you is getting married, and that pressure causes you to go with anyone that comes along your way that is willing to take you up in a relationship or is willing to marry you, even when you know they are not the people for you. But just because the pressure around you, everywhere you look, everyone is getting married and you are not getting married. Like, you are not getting married. So you end up going in a relationship where you know you're not going to be happy, you're not going to have the joy you would have gotten if you waited, but just because of the pressure, you end up being in that relationship, you end up being in marriage. By the way, most people are into marriages because of peer pressure. They got in married because everyone else was getting married, or maybe that was the situation during that moment and they end up being in those relationships. And they are stuck there. They are there, but they don't want to be there because of the peer pressure. Yes, another point is running out of time. You're there. You're clocking your 30s. You're in your late 30s, in your 40s. Or even if you're not, you're in your late 20s and you see time is going. Time is going. Because someone is telling you, we ladies have the biological clock. Please make sure you produce when you're still young, because once you don't produce when you're still young, you're going to have issues when it comes to childbirth when you're at a later age. And that pressure and that alone makes you be with someone that you wouldn't have been with, but just because you're running out of time, you get married to this person and they are not good for you, but because you are running out of time and everyone is telling you you're growing old, like your family, your friends, everyone around you is telling you, okuze, like you're growing old, please get married or be in a relationship. And you end up being in a relationship which you wouldn't have been in the first place, but just because you want to show everyone around you that, you know what, time is not passing me by, I've got someone, I'm getting married. And you end up being in a relationship, being stuck in a relationship, being in a marriage that you wouldn't have been in the first place. But just because everyone around is telling you you're growing old, or you see time is just running out for you, my dear, everything happens in its own right time. And even the Bible says it, everything has its own right time. So that pressure alone makes you be stuck in a relationship or in a marriage that you wouldn't have been in the very first place. Other points, financial reasons. Yes, finances have always been an issue for everyone, both the male and the females, but most especially I'm going to look at the ladies. Most of us have a lifestyle. There is that kind of life that we want to live. You want to, like, you have a lifestyle to keep. You have that life that you imagine, but the fact is you're not yet at a financial level where you're able to cater for yourself. So what you do, you end up with someone who is able to meet all your needs, who is able to sustain that kind of lifestyle. And it can be anyone. It can be a sugar daddy or someone within your age, but the fact is you do not love them, but you are enjoying the benefits, or you are with them because of what they can offer you, especially when it comes to the financial level. You be with someone, you don't love them, you don't even wish to be with them. That's why you find young women who are dating older men, they cannot even try to flaunt them out there because they do not love them, but because they are getting something from them, they are stuck there. You're with someone, you don't love them. Like, from the bottom of your heart, you don't want to be with this person. But just because they can afford your lifestyle, they can pay for your rent, they can pay for your bills, they can afford to make you, like, you can afford your shopping, they can afford your traveling needs, they can afford the kind of lifestyle that you so desire, the kind of social status you want to keep among your girls, like among your friends. You end up being with this person. Not because you love them, but the fact is they can be able to provide the kind of lifestyle you need. So you end up being stuck in that relationship. The point is sympathy. Like someone can do something for you, you as a lady, you as a man, and indeed you have no way of paying them. Like for example, someone can come through for you when it comes to your family. Like you're going through a financial crisis, or maybe you're having family problems, or maybe someone pays your tuition, or someone caters for your bills, and literally you have no way of paying them back. And the only way you can repay them back is by getting into a relationship with them, even if in the first place you wouldn't have gone in the relationship. Let me give you an example. I watched a movie where this lady was coming from a poor background, like a poor family. They didn't have money, and she had a problem with her kidney, and she needed a kidney transplant. So there was this guy who had always loved her, was interested in her, and he has proposed on a number of times for a lady to get into a relationship with him, but she used to turn him down. So when he heard that this lady had gotten an issue with her kidney, he offered to donate his kidney, and thankfully they were a match, and he donated a kidney to this lady. So out of the gratefulness of her heart, this lady didn't know how to pay this guy. But just to accept it, she just had to accept the proposal of being in a relationship with this guy, even when she knew this guy wasn't a guy for her, when this guy wasn't all that she wanted. And she ended up being in a relationship. For a long time, she stayed in that relationship. She was stuck there. She was not happy. Like, even when a guy tried to do all the good things, the lady wasn't happy until when she finally was like, enough is enough. I need to find someone whom I love. So most of us are going through that situation where someone has done something for you, and out of pity, out of sympathy, you have no way of repaying them back. You end up being in a relationship with them even when you do not want them. So the relationship evolves into a marriage where you are in that marriage just because you felt pity, you felt sympathy for this person. But when you know you didn't love this person, and sometimes it's hard to develop the love even if you try so much, like even if you try so hard. So you end up being stuck in that relationship. Point, family background. Especially when it comes to families that are wealthy, you find they want to keep their family wealth, their legacy, their dignity. So you find two rich families are coming together and bringing their children into an arranged marriage, where these two children do not love themselves, but just because they have a name to keep, they have a status to uphold, they end up being in a relationship or end up in a marriage that they wouldn't want to be in, but just because their family, that is required of them from their families. Because they have something to keep, like they wouldn't, like the family wouldn't want to bring in someone who isn't going to add value to them. So the only way to do that is by getting another rich family, and they make their children get married or be in a relationship, even when these two people are not in love with each other or they don't want to do with each other. So you find them getting married, they are stuck there, they are not happy. They, of course, they do all these other things to be able to uphold their name, but you find they are not happy. They're in a marriage, as in everyone is just tolerating each other. That even given a second chance, someone will just go out there and they look for someone they truly want to be with, or someone they desire, or someone they love. So most people are going through that. And there are so many families there. I think you know examples of such families where the kids are rich to rich, not rich to poor. And you as a kid, if you try to defile and you're rich and then you get a poor person, there has to cause havoc in the family. Like, it has to cause a lot of havoc. So most people are stuck in such relationships, such marriages. And I believe there are so many other reasons why people are stuck in relationships, why people are in relationships they want to be in the very first place. That's why I want you to share with me in the comment section. Please make sure you comment in the comment section. Tell me those other reasons that I may not have mentioned, because I believe there are so many. If you're in a relationship and you are not happy, if you're in a marriage and you're not happy, Leave alone having marriage issues or having like arguments, quarrels here and there. No. And meaning the reason that brought you in that relationship, the reason that made you get married to that person. If it wasn't about love, and it's one of the reasons I've mentioned, or even other reasons that I've not mentioned, please share with us, because it can help someone else there who is navigating into the world of relationships and marriage, because all we can take up in advice that comes along as we prepare for having thriving relationships and having thriving marriages. And I believe, yes, make sure you share with your friends. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends if this content has been very helpful to you. And I'll be sharing more information about relationships, about finances, because we want to get it right. We don't want to be in relationships where our finances are out of check. We don't want to be our relationships are out of check where our finances are okay. So we are going to navigate those two areas, because I believe they affect us all. If your relationship is not going on well, just know maybe something not going on well in your finances. If like literally everything, we are going to be discussing how those two topics intertwine. And I remain your girl, Nachito Peace, a relationship and financial coach, and a public speaker, an event host and modulator. Yes, so I wish you all the best. And I hope this was very insightful and helpful. I hope it opened up your mind to think of other reasons why you are where you are, why you are in that relationship. If it's not for the right reason, just it will be very hard for you to thrive in that relationship, to thrive in that marriage. Let marriages and relationships stand on the principle of truth and love. Yes, I wish you all the best, and bye-bye.